Welcome and thank you so much for tuning in to this very exciting, very extra announcement / update. So before I get into the main course of tonight's dinner event party, I wanted to first give you some context, a little bit of a background story, if you will, so you understand what the fuck is going on, why am I here, what is this about? So let's get into it. So at the end of last year, I think it was around this time, to be honest, like it was November of last year, I was feeling extremely dreadful and lost. While my brand coaching program business was doing well, financially, it was sucking the life out of my soul. Like I was not enjoying it as much as I thought I was going to. And it honestly started to feel like I swapped my day job for another one, only this time I'm working way longer hours and doing a lot more work. And I started to ask myself, I'm like, why did I do this? What was the point? Like, I feel like I lost the point of it all. I also realized that offering a DIY / done with you type of services was mainly because of kind of like a scarcity trigger, like having some sort of, scarcity mindset, because, I felt like done for you services, they cost way more. I mean, of course, like done for you will always cost way more. And so people would be less inclined to opt in for that, to invest in that. And that's literally what happened, because every time I would even try to do done for you, people wouldn't. But then I realized it was more so a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like the energy I was coming up with, of course, it was not working out for me. So surprise, like, yeah. Anyway, so each time I would speak to a client and advise them either on their branding, their marketing, or building systems, a little voice in my head would be like, wouldn't it be nice or fun if we did it for them? Like if we did the whole thing for them. And then I would just hush the voice down and be like, shh, no. But there were times where I couldn't hush the voice down anymore because the voice would like, no, I really want to do this. Let's do it for them. So I would just end up doing it for my clients. I would actually not only coach them, but also do it for them as a complimentary service. And this would, cause myself to take on way too much for less, because again, it was complimentary, and it would cause me to, miss deadlines because I was over-promising, under-delivering, and, eventually I crashed and burned. Again, no surprise there. So I finally, told myself I'm burning out, I need to stop. And I did, because again, I could not work anymore, because again, I was so tired, burnt out. And this was around the time that Clubhouse became a thing. Like it took off, and we were all finding ourselves glued to our microphones, on our phones, chatting away, meeting new people, and just sharing ideas. It was beautiful, to be honest. Like I kind of lost Clubhouse. Like it's not a thing for me anymore. But in the beginning, during its golden days, I feel like it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Like it was around this time that I started mingling with other people. By other, I mean people who were not just coaches, people who were service providers, people who were, providing done for you offers and services. And I realized it was surprising. I know it sounds weird when I'm saying it out loud right now, but it was surprising for me to, realize that they were service providers. And not only that, they were service providers that were making money. Like I realized I had been in such a tiny, compact bubble that I forgot all about it. Like I forgot that service providers exist, and not only they exist, but they were also making money. What? Wow, what a concept. Thus began my journey of deconditioning myself. I felt like for the 2 years that I was in the entrepreneurial world, I found myself around coaches, and because coaches would keeps telling me to be a coach, I was conditioned into believing that the only way to thrive online was to be a coach. And actually, that was the reason why I didn't even thrive, because I realized that being a service provider was my calling, but was not. Anyways, at first it felt like, it would never happen because I kept going to my former coaching self ways. The offers I kept coming up with seemed very coachy type. The messaging, my marketing, my messaging, my content was eerily similar to my coaching content. And to be honest, it started to get really frustrating because I felt like I've become so, occupied with this or merged with this coaching image that I can't let it go. So, I told myself like, hey, you need to pause. You need to focus on your environment because, the quote, that famous quote that I like to tell people is that when a flower or a plant is dying, you don't blame the plant, you don't focus on the plant, you focus on the environment first. So I told myself I'm a plant, and if my plant is dying, if I'm dying, it's because my environment sucks. So I started with my online environment. I went through a massive unfollow spree. Any accounts that did not, align with my higher self, they had to go. And then I started following accounts that did align with my higher, more grand self. And I felt like this energy started to shift a little bit once I did this whole cleaning and realigning. And I also knew, like when I was doing some soul searching, reflections, I knew that I wanted to go back to the done for you brand development type of business model. Instead of coaching people to build a brand, I would do it for them through design, strategy, marketing, all of that. I also knew that I did not want to be a solopreneur. I did not want to do anything alone. I was tired of being alone all the time. So I asked for help. I got myself a coach who knew how to build an agency, a studio, an atelier, as opposed to just a freelance business. And I also knew that I didn't want to be in this journey alone, like doing it. So I wanted a partner. I knew I wanted to partner someone who's going to be on the same journey as me, not as a coach who would just tell me what to do. So I asked the person I thought would be the perfect one to be on this journey for me, and it was Taylor. I asked Taylor if she'd be down, and she said yes, and I was so happy. And so we started doing the damn thing. We started our branding atelier, and it was beautiful. It was hard. There were blood, sweat, and tears. There was magic. There was honestly everything. And we worked and worked to come up with the perfect offers, to cultivate the perfect atelier. We researched, we walked our talked. This was a time where I was really walking the walk, like I was really walking what I was coaching or coached in the past. We experimented, we failed, we tried and tried again. Building a brand is more of a discovery process than a creation process. So we were discovering a lot by making mistakes, embarking on these weird treks, and slowly it started to come together. In fact, before we could even launch, we signed a client. What? Like, it was surprising. Like, a client just, slid into my DMs, and she's like, hey, is this something you do? And I'm like, wow, yeah, but I haven't really talked about it, but sure. And then a little later, I got another DM, and I was like, what, another one? And before we knew it, we were booked out. We were honestly booked out, and it felt surreal. Like, I was like, holy shit, we haven't even launched. I haven't even talked about having a branding atelier. I haven't shifted my messaging. I've barely posted, and I have these people coming in. And I was like, wow, the universe is really providing. However, being in demand can be both a gift and a curse, especially if you're super new. Like, I always tell this to my clients, but I never experienced it myself. Fast growth always comes at a price, and eventually it did cost us. Because we had so much client work, we start to lag on our own branding, on our own marketing, and establishing our atelier properly. Like, we never launched. We still haven't launched. I think this is like me trying to soft launch myself. But we started to overwork. We were, stretching our timelines. And then so we decided that, hey, clients will always come first. Clients will always be our priority. So let's prioritize them. And, let's work on clients' project first. And then once they're all done, we can deal with everything else later. So, we did that. But however, when the client work did come to an end, and we were able to take a breather, I remember just laying on the couch, having a call with Taylor, and we looked at each other and we were like, now what? Like, we're so lost in client work. and we're so lost in just like following the processes that we came up with and on the client journey, the back end operation stuff, that it felt like, what do we do now? During this magnificent circus show that we ran in the beginning, we lost ourselves in the process. We lost ourselves during this whole show, running the show. And, I did not know what exactly my personal brand was. And so when I shared this with Taylor, she realized, or she shared that she felt the same way. She doesn't know who she is as a personal brand. We also did not know where we wanted to go from here in terms of the studio, because we found ourselves in a slower season. And when you find yourself in a slower season, you always ask yourself, like, did we do something wrong? Are we doing something wrong? Is something bad happening? And we didn't realize that, there's seasons. There's fast season that we went through, and now there's slower season. It's not something bad. If anything, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us to work on the stuff that we lacked on. Back to the drawing board we went and started properly strategizing our growth plan and operations. This time, it was actually backed by data because we had clients to, back our processes. We asked them for feedback. They gave us feedback and was so good. So this time we actually felt, we had a roadmap to follow which gave us confidence. Working on it over and over and over again, trial and error, experimenting, using the data that we have, we finally were able to, come up with something better. This is basically what this video is about. It's about an announcement, all about it. So much has happened, to be honest, and so much has changed. And I felt like, every now and then when I would show up on Instagram, I felt confused. I felt like I was making you feel confused about what the fuck is going on. And I felt like I really need to do this video. To not only keep you in the loop, that's a big part of it, of course. That's always a big part of everything that I do. But it was also to give myself clarity, because I feel like when I'm talking it out, and I'm saying it out loud, it cements it. It clearly defines things. So I'm doing it more for me than anyone else. Does anyone else do that? No? Just me? Cool. Well, okay. Anyways, so now that the atelier, was good, has established systems, I was able to focus on me for the last few weeks and months. I'm a massive, multi-passionate human. So ideas flood. And every night before I go to bed, which is one of the reasons why sometimes I'm an insomniac, and makes it a tad bit overwhelming and confusing as to what to focus. So I've been juggling a lot of ideas, experimenting with them, putting it out there in the world to see how you react to it. So after a bunch of brainstorming sessions, looking at data, experimenting, just discussing it with myself and my creative assistant and Taylor sometimes. So lucky to have her as a partner who also helps me, not only just like business partnership, but also just like personal stuff. So we've finally nailed it down. I'm getting excited if you can't tell from how fast I'm talking now. That's one thing I do. I start talking really fast when I get excited. So I need to calm myself. Whew. Okay, so I wanted myself to be a personal brand, to showcase who I am inside and outside of the atelier. Because I feel like a lot of people use personal brand loosely. I want to use it as strictly sense of the word. I want to be a personal brand that allows me to be multifaceted, but without the confusion that can arise from it. Because sometimes people think most personal brand means that you do whatever you want. You post a picture of your cat and your dogs and everything. No, there's still a method to this madness. What to expect. My personal brand will be more of a showcase of my personal life, my passion projects, and thought leadership when it comes to building an aligned brand, building multiple aligned brands, being a passionate person, and integrating work-life harmony. So instead of just looking for balance like 50-50, it's more so of a harmony where your work and your life, they feed into each other. So I want to be more present on YouTube and my blog, while my Instagram channel will be more of a nurturing connections type of space through my, musings, poetic stuff, more artistic posts. Instagram is going to be more so where I just do what my heart desires, to be more of an artist, photographer, storyteller than being more strategic. I also don't want to, I no longer wish to confine myself to one channel and 22 character limits, because I feel like for the last 2 years, that's what I was doing. One channel, squeezing everything in 2,200 characters. and I was basically shrinking myself, keeping myself shrunk. So I want to expand and express myself through different mediums of my voice, because I know my voice has many voices. So I want to cater to all of our beautiful voices in different mediums. With that, I want to announce the launch of my new website and blog, fatimazehra.co, which is also reflected in my new social media handles. If you haven't noticed, all of my social media handles have been changed from Fatima S. Zehra to Fatima Zehra Co, just to make everything streamlined and consistent. This is where my brand strategist comes in. Everything needs to be consistent. My blog is going to be my new digital home, where I will be sharing everything with you, as well as offer more magic making goods. That's a big part of it, to help you embark on your journey and thrive on your journey to becoming yourself. Because I feel like, the studio is great for building brands, brand development, but as an entrepreneur, you need to be and do. It's not just one or the other. So I want my personal brand to be that space where I can help you be and do. So if you want to stay in the loop for all the magical things to come, make sure to subscribe to this channel and follow along my blog. There's so much that I cannot wait to share with you, because I feel like my personal brand is going to be so much more dynamic. It's not just an Instagram account. It's not just a coaching business. It's not just one thing. It's me. It's me as a person. It's me as being a multi-passionate designer, storyteller, creative entrepreneur who has more than one brand. And before I start launching all these crazy brands ideas that I have, I want to build my connection with you first. I want to build my personal brand first, and this is the first step to that. So please, if you want to stay in the loop, subscribe to this channel, head to the blog. It's linked in the captions description. I'll be sharing a lot more on there as opposed to Instagram or just YouTube. It'd be more of a space where there are no rules. I can express myself without any bounds. Yeah, and again, thank you so much for watching this, for being on this journey with me, and for just keeping up with the madness that is my ever-changing, ever-evolving self-brand. I mean, it should be ever-evolving, but I feel like in the last year, I've been, wow, I can't talk. I've died and been reborn 5 times at least, so it has been a bit confusing. So I wanted to have this video posted for you and for myself to cement everything. Stay tuned. There'll be way more updates to come, what's happening with my other brands, because Zehra Studio is going to be changed. It's going to have a new branding done to reflect Taylor being part of it, and then something else is going to happen. So I don't want to give away too much, but telling you a little bit of a sneak peek. Thank you again so much for watching this very long and very extra announcement video.